Okay, boys and girls, we're back. This is lesson 11.4. Today we're going to work with metric units of length. We're going to specifically work with the meter. That's the unit we're going to use. Now there's all different types of meters, which I'm going to show you in a minute. We have kilometers, which are really big, and we use those to measure long distances. And then we have other things like the millimeter, which are really tiny. And we would use that to measure really small things, maybe like an eraser. And a centimeter is just a little bit bigger. So today they want us to measure the length of your book in centimeters. Then measure it in millimeters. What do you notice about the two measurements? Well, because we're not together, we can't really do this right now. But I can show you another way that's going to make sense, that's going to help you get your answers correct. There's also a video I included about King Henry that helps you to understand the different units. We're going to be working with meters, liters, and grams. Today we're just going to focus on meters, which is just used for length. So I'm going to give you some examples and show you how you can do this at home to convert measurements from one unit to another. So here we go. Okay, so this is what it looks like in order. We have kilometers, and we're using meters today. We could also use this chart for liters and grams, which you'll see in the next two lessons. But today we're going to focus on just meters. So we have kilometers, and the prefix kilo means 1,000. If you ever see the prefix hecto, that means you have 100. So kilo means 1,000 meters. Hectometer means 100 meters. Decameter means 10 meters. Meter itself is just one. Then we have decimeter, which means you have 1/10 of a meter, just a piece of it, a small piece. Then we have a centimeter, which is 1/100th of a meter, even smaller. And then we have a millimeter, which is really tiny, and that's 1,000th of a meter. So it's just like our base 10 number system. We always get 10 times larger as we jump columns. So today we're going to focus on converting measurements. So if we look right here, I have a problem, and it says 6.5 centimeters. And I want to turn centimeters into millimeters. So I'm going to write this on here so you guys know the prefixes. We have decimeter, we have centimeter, and we have millimeter. And decameter is DKM. That's the only one that's different. And we have a hectometer, and then we have a kilometer. So there goes the prefixes. So today we're trying to turn a centimeter to a millimeter. It's really important to know where your decimal is in the number. So if you get a number like this right here and it doesn't have a decimal, what I want you to do is always place your decimal first. Let's put a decimal in the number 8. We know it goes just to the right of the digit. Okay, so how is that going to help us? Well, check this out. We have a centimeter, and we're trying to turn it into a millimeter. So I'm going to find centimeter on my chart. How do I get from centimeter to millimeter? Well, I make one hop to the right. So I'm going to take my decimal and change my color. I'm going to take my decimal, and just like it was only one hop to the right, I'm going to move my decimal one hop to the right. Now it's right there. So now I know the answer is going to be 65.0, no more. So this place value chart, or this metric system chart, is very helpful. So I'm going to take a picture of this, and I'm going to post this as well in a minute. Let's look at another one. If I have 8 kilometers and I want to turn it into meters, how am I going to do it? Well, I'm going to go over here, I'm going to find kilometers, and I have to ask myself, how do I get from kilometers back to meters? Well, let's see. One hop, 2 hops, 3 hops to the right. Okay, so I made it. To get from here, 1 hop, 2 hops, 3 hops to get back to the meter. So I'm gonna come down here, I'm gonna take 8. My decimal was right there. I'm gonna make 3 hops to the right. 1, 2, 3. This is the new place of my decimal. So my old decimal is gone. Goodbye. Now, what do I do with all these gaps? I put in placeholders. So there goes a 0, and each U, 0 and a 0. So now I just found out that 8 kilometers is the exact same thing as 8,000 meters. They're equivalent. We're gonna use this to help us get through the practice page. So hopefully you find this video helpful. And remember, you always look at where you're starting. Kilometers, I started in the kilometers, and I was going to the meters, and I counted the hops. And whatever I do on this chart, that's what I'm gonna do with my decimal. And wherever there's a missing value, I'm gonna fill it in with a 0. And then we'll find the equivalence. We can use this video for the next 3 lessons on meters, liters, and grams. It works for all of them. The only difference is, instead of a kilometer, I might have a kilogram, or I might have a kiloliter. No matter what, they all mean you either have 1,000 grams or 1,000 meters or 1,000 liters. So the only thing that's gonna change when we do different things is this is meters, but I could do it all for liters as well, and I could do it for grams. I also provided you with another video that you might find helpful. Hopefully you find this one helpful. Do your best, and any questions, just let me know. Thanks, boys and girls. See you soon.